Oh, goody goody cheesecakes. We're live.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Unprinted Pages. And tonight we get to have Joe DeRouen. Yay! Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So, what do you want them to know most about you?
That's a good question. I write books. People should read them. Here's one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been a writer pretty much all my life, and I've written for magazines and newspapers and stuff in the past, but I'm strictly fiction now. And I just enjoy writing. I enjoy playing games, and people can always look me up on Facebook or any of the other places.
Any answers? That's how I got him here. He said, yeah, sure, I'll come join. He had a post up, ask me anything. And I'm like, come join me on my show, please.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it.
Thank you. And lovely viewers, he writes novels, he writes short stories, and he writes poetry. He'll give you so many awesome things. And I think I am a big ghost story person. I love writing ghost stories. I love reading ghost stories. I love listening to ghost stories. What has been your favorite thing about ghost stories and your universe of ghost stories compared to other ghosts?
That's a good question. I take a lot of my own past and put it into stories. Like there's a story that's going to be in my upcoming short story collection called Haunted, which is about a man whose father was an alcoholic, and that would be me. I write about stuff from my own past, and I won't get into it because I want people to read the story and not know what it's about. Just what happens when he thinks his father is haunting him. And I just enjoy that. I also enjoy being able to show that ghosts don't always have to be scary. That sometimes the ghosts can be benevolent instead of out to kill you. And yeah,
I love the places you have put the ghosts.
Thank you.
Hey, Stephen, I love I love how you've added the humanity in your characters, the human experience. That has been so amazing.
Thank you.
Are you a people watcher or a people studier, or did you go to school and get degrees or certifications for this?
I did study creative writing in college. I did not finish. My I was married at the time. My wife developed cancer, and I ended up dropping out of college. And she passed away. But I guess just my own experiences. And yeah, I am a people watcher. I pay attention to what people tell me and to what I see. And yeah,
That is awesome. The amazing Stefan Lear from Fractured Mind Publishing has a good question. If you could write the perfect murder, how would you write it?
that's a really good question. Don't know. You probably, if I was writing it, a perfect murder, there'd have to be some supernatural stuff in it. It would, there would be ghosts involved more than likely, and like maybe the ghost would frame somebody for the murder, so nobody could ever find out what happened. If that makes any sense? Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. You starting on that prompt and seeing where it takes you.
Even sometimes I'll try to write a story that's not supernatural or not science fiction, and it usually ends up there. That's just how my brain works.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. There's usually some type of fantastical or paranormal element in my stories.
Cool.
Out of nowhere, there's witchcraft and ghosts. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, did um your portrayal of amnesia, what um what led up to the idea of giving her amnesia and how she would proceed?
Um, which which one are you talking about?
The ghost, sorry,
Memories of a Ghost?
Memories of Ghost. I was trying to
Yeah.
remember the first part. Memories of Ghost.
Yeah. Memories of a Ghost. I, honestly, I wrote that I published it in 2015, so it's been a while.
Uh-huh.
And I liked the idea of a person trying to, figure out who and what they are while experiencing all this spooky stuff going on around them. And it was a fun book to write. And I like to set my stuff locally where I live for the most part. So I was able to do a lot with that. And as far as the amnesia aspect, I just researched amnesia,
Uh-huh.
and it was a fun book to write. Like I said, I've considered writing a sequel to it at some point, but it's been so long now, I don't know if I ever will.
You can I've seen some authors go back and reread their books and then just work out a sequel from there.
I thought about it, and there's certainly some room to where I could do that. And I reread my own stuff every once in a while. I did reread Memories of a Ghost, I guess about a year ago.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Um
mean, I'm my favorite writer, so
from a medical standpoint, having worked in a nursing home with people with dementia, I love how you portrayed her amnesia. The fear that I have seen in not knowing who people are and what's going on, even though you have known them for in some places their whole lives.
yeah.
I phrase that because nursing home, you have known them their whole lives, but you don't remember who they are or where they're from, and you're trying to get back to a certain point in time where you did remember things. Like the you portrayed that actually great. I love that.
Thank you. I do have a couple friends that are nurses, so I was able to ask them a lot of questions, and that definitely helped.
Oh, that helps a
Yeah,
lot. I love asking my nursey questions. She's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
that's cool. Yeah, but I have to say I've never had amnesia myself. So
Okay. I figured you is either watched it or asked somebody a bunch of questions and a whole lot of research.
Yep.
Um,
Research can be fun.
what uh what ghost story gave you the want to do more of your own?
That's another good question. I've just always and like Twilight Zone is my favorite series of all time. I've watched every episode multitude of times, and not just the original, although that's by far my favorite. I've watched the '80s version, the other like the horrible version they had in early 2000s, and the most recent one that was good. And as you probably know, there's a lot of ghost tales in that. And those were some of my or some of my favorite episodes. So it's like I wanted to try my own hand at it.
Okay.
And I think hopefully Rod Serling would like my stuff. I don't know.
I hope he would. If he doesn't, I think he'd in all honesty, I think he would like it.
I think so too.
Um
Maybe someday I'll do a seance and try and figure it out.
that is one of the things I've never wanted to do, but have you ever went ghost hunting?
No, I haven't. I've thought about it. I have a friend locally who does a lot of ghost hunting. Crystal Hunts Paranormal, I believe is the name.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I would like to do that. I just never have actually done it because I'm usually at home writing about things like that.
Okay. The only reason I asked is I didn't know if that's one of the things you were going to try and add that as like a storyline in an upcoming story.
That's a good
Uh,
idea.
one being about ghost hunters. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a
Um.
particular like hotel not too far from here, that Crescent Hotel, I believe, that has a huge history of ghosts and all sorts of stuff, and they do tours. And I've always wanted to do that, and at some point, I think I probably will.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um. Which character that you've have published would you like to actually sit down and talk with and learn more about them?
For many of my books, that's a good question. Probably Gavin from Leap Year. He has the ability to like teleport from one place to another. Okay, like if he's in a Starbucks in Dallas, Texas, he can open a door, walk through, and be in a Starbucks anywhere else. And he also aged only 1 year for every 4 years because he was born on leap year, hence the name of the book. And he's lived a long time. He's like over 100 years old in real years, but he's 1/4 of that because of the leap year. And I would like to talk to him just to learn about a lot about what he can do and what he knows. I'd also would enjoy talking to Claire from Memories of a Ghost. Um, it would be cool to meet somebody who actually could see ghosts and could interact with them. And I guess I like to talk to all my characters, really.
Yeah, that
Maybe
would
not
be
the
fun.
villains.
Understandable. Yeah, that I can understand that because yeah, that was a very painful death. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
partway through leap year. I'd been bouncing between short stories and poems
Cool.
before that. um,
And that's another one I've thought about writing a sequel to, but I don't know if I ever will.
okay.
I will say both the character. Okay, I have a trilogy of books called the Small Things trilogy,
Oh yeah.
which is set in my hometown of Carthage, Illinois, mainly. And in the final book of that, Claire from Memories of the Ghost and Gavin from Leap Year appear. And
Oh,
that was fun to write. I like one of the most fun things for me with my stories is interconnecting everything.
oh yeah.
So it's basically all in the same universe. Not all my short stories, but all my novels, they are in the shared universe, and I like to do that. I like to put little Easter eggs and things like that in there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
fun.
just gotten the omnibus because I'm like, oh, he has an omnibus? That would be so much easier to get this to,
It
yeah,
is,
get it
and
and to read it.
well, the omnibus. Oh, sorry, the omnibus has an extra novella and two short story, no, two or three short stories that aren't available anywhere else.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were part of another thing or what, but that is awesome news.
Thanks. Like I said, I like adding different things and making my own little world.
Oh yeah, I can honestly say I do too. I am in the process of making a shared world between the witch CNA and the ghost hunter.
That's
And
cool.
over the weekend, I finally figured out how they're connected.
That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, who is your favorite dead author?
That is an amazingly easy question. It is Ken Grimwood. He wrote my favorite novel of all time, Replay, which is about a man that he's talking to his wife on a phone, suddenly has a heart attack and dies, and then wakes up and he's like 20 years old again in the past. And he cycles through several lives that way, each time moving a little more forward in time. It's just a really good book. I first read it when I was like 18, I think, and I'm 19 now. Well, not really, but anyway, it's a really good book. I wish he had lived longer. He died a fairly early in his life, I think, and he's written a lot of other good books as well. So
That is
that's somebody. If I could, often see things like if you could meet your favorite author alive or dead, who would it be? And it would probably be him.
who would you want to have a collaborated universe with?
Well, that's a good question. Probably, I don't know. Easy answer is Stephen King. I like because he does a lot of that, like putting characters together and in the same universe. So does Jonathan Carroll, which isn't quite as famous as Stephen King, but that is what inspired me to do that. So I think it would be really cool to be in a collaborative universe with Jonathan Carroll.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and Kim Grimwood, but he's dead. So.
True. I apparently need to go check out Jonathan Carroll. I haven't read any of his stuff.
He's really good. He has a lot of books. I think Land of Laughs was his first book. It's like 20, 30 years old at this point. But yeah, it's very scary stuff. I'll say that. But more
Scary.
like in a intellectual way.
Cool. Thank you. Um, do you have a uh a short story that you've written that you plan on like building on into a bigger universe?
Funny that you'd say that. I do have one. I have a Patreon, and for a while on my Patreon, I was like picking a name from my list of people and letting them tell me basically what sort of story to write.
Uh-huh.
And from that came one I called Unseen, which is about a person that at some point in his life, like when he was 12 or 13, suddenly people couldn't they could still see him, but they'd forget him immediately if he walked away. And I was going to include that short story in my upcoming short story collection, but I decided to turn it into a novel instead, and that's what I've been working on.
That is
Um,
awesome.
and also from my first my first short story collection, Maryland. Um, that was more novella, but I've thought before about turning that into a full-on novel. So maybe someday.
Okay. Um, what's your favorite cryptid?
My favorite what?
Cryptid.
Cryptid? Cryptid? Bigfoot? Maybe?
Bigfoot? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. Hadn't really thought about that. I've been
Okay.
talking I've been talking to a friend of mine about doing a collaborative like novel and possibly about cryptids. So yeah, it's something to think about.
Okay. I had no idea about that. It's just you've written about ghosts and time
Yeah,
travel and different things, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes these authors also are big fans of cryptids, so yeah.
yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I just hadn't really thought about that. What's your favorite?
Oh, those little walking legs. There's like the head with the walking legs. I know there's a name for them,
Yeah, I know
but I
what you
can
mean
never
too.
remember.
I don't remember the name either, but I know what you mean. So
Oh yeah, those I have no idea what they are, but they're always interesting to see just walk down the road.
I think I enjoy the Bigfoot stuff because there's so much mythology behind it, and not
Oh yeah,
just like in a certain area. The Yeti and the Sasquatch, and it just seems interesting. And who knows, maybe something is out there that is like that.
oh yeah, and every state has their own version of Bigfoot, but they
Yeah,
don't always call it Bigfoot, so that's always fun.
yeah, exactly. But I haven't seen one in Arkansas yet, but I should go look.
Okay. Um. Well, and to play off of Stefan's question, who's your favorite live author?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I just have one. I really enjoy Christopher Golden, who writes a lot of horror. I'm sure you know who he is. Um, Stephen King, of course. Jonathan Carroll, yeah, he's definitely up there. Um, some other ones that I can't think of at the moment, of course. Who wrote? Never mind. I was trying to think. I don't remember her name, but somebody wrote these books that are kind of like an alternate universe where like women astronauts are in it, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Somebody out there, just go ahead and search for women astronauts alternate universe and tell me what her name is.
we'll find out after the show if we don't find out during.
Yes.
Rolling die. If you had a choice of universes to be reborn in, what literary universe would you choose?
That's a very good question. And
Not
honestly,
Highlands.
the Highlands. That would be cool. I would probably choose my own because it's mine and I know it best, and I could get around in it. And my characters would be nice to me since I created them.
That would be great. Oh yeah. Well, the problem is there's a chance of meeting Lazarus Long in Highlands,
Oh,
and he'll have us join the Time Corps, and then he'll find some way of getting us killed, and it'll be no.
I would probably
Depending,
also any universe that has time travel because I love time travel stuff. So,
yeah,
like, but it probably wouldn't be a horror author because I don't want to die.
me either. I'd rather have Gay Deceiver than we can go to all of them.
Yeah, that works. I like that idea.
Um,
I do have a character in the Small Things books that Ben Spencer, and he has the ability to like see threads of different things that might happen and visit alternate universes. So, like, I might team up with him, and he could take me to see different things. That'd be cool.
Dude, the more we talk about this book and the more I read about it, the more I am grateful that my husband got me the thing for me to read.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those amazing Valentine's Day presents. It's like, hey, you said you like this guy. Here you go.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, good husband.
Oh yeah. And do you have any Cthulhu S stories?
Actually, I do. There's one again in my upcoming anthology, which is or not anthology, short story collection, which is called The Urn. And there's definitely Cthulhu-esque type stuff in that. Beyond
Okay.
that, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I do
Okay.
enjoy that. So yeah, I need to try my hand at more of that.
Oh yeah, no rush. Just questioning because this awesome guy here has an anthology series with Cthulhu universe stories,
Fun.
and I'm like, ooh, but do you have any? So yeah, yes, more lore for the mythos. I definitely recommend going and checking those out.
Oh, I will.
Sorry, I've thrown. I had a list now. I'm trying to rearrange back where
Oh,
any
you're
of them
good.
are. Because
Now I want to go write some Cthulhu-esque stories.
Oh yeah, dude. Even if I'm not sure if he's doing another anthology, but I definitely want to see what your wonderful brain would come up with.
Thank you. Well, in my new short story collection, you will see one of those.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that because that was a gorgeous cover.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I love the owl, but then again, okay, I think I'm pointing at it now. I can't tell. Wherever the owl is in the corner, I had an obsession, and then the Owl Light Society found me. Yes, the
Yep.
odds and endings, guys. That is a great series of stories that he has collected there, and whether you read it or listen to it, it is definitely worth it.
And I have some really awful poetry at the end.
It wasn't awful. It's no more awful than mine.
Well, I guess it wasn't awful, but it sometimes feels that way.
I have not found anything of yours so far that I dislike.
Well, thank you.
Which are you a coffee or tea person?
I am not. I, for whatever reason, never liked coffee or tea, and I haven't drank caffeine in like 20 years.
So,
Just,
what is your go-to drink?
I'm boring. Water.
Water? Okay.
Yep. Sometimes I'll drink some grape juice, stuff like that, but mainly I just drink water. Because at the time, I was like I said, I was 20, actually more like 21, 22 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was having some anxiety issues, and I saw a doctor, and they suggested I cut down on my caffeine. And I don't do that. I just stop cold turkey. It's hard for me to cut down on something. So I just stopped drinking caffeine, had headaches for like 6 weeks. That wasn't fun. But so, no, I don't drink. My wife drinks more than enough coffee and tea to make up for me.
Where is your favorite vacation spot?
That's a good question. I don't know. The one time I was in the United Kingdom, I really liked it. I didn't get to stay nearly as long as I would have liked to. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go to Ireland. I used to run, I don't know if you know who he is, but Chris DeBerg, he wrote the Lady in Red song, if you've ever heard that. And it's like in the 80s or so. And I ran his official website for several years. So his manager flew me down there for some meetings, and so it was cool to go to England. I also went to Canada for the same reason, but it was like meetings and meetings, and I didn't get to do a whole lot. So I'd love to go back. I also enjoyed. My wife and son and I went to Playa del Carmen in Mexico for my sister-in-law's wedding, and that was really fun. They have some really cool beaches and stuff down there.
Okay.
So
you have a very interesting life.
Well, thank you.
I'm like, I thought there for a second I said wife, but yeah, life.
Life.
I haven't met your wife, but I'm very sure she's amazing.
She is, or I wouldn't have married her.
Of course, that's why you keep her, because she rocks.
And she beta reads all my stuff.
Yes, that is a very lucky thing to get to do.
Yeah, and she also used to edit dictionaries, so it's really helpful to have somebody like that will look at my stuff.
Oh yeah, and have a partner that wants to see what you're writing and read it. That's a good thing. I've been blessed with Josh in that particular aspect.
That's cool.
He likes listening to my stuff or reading the stuff or coming and joining me, so that has been awesome.
My wife's name is Andy, and she's a She's
Cool.
an artist in her own right, not with words, but with painting and stuff.
Awesome.
Um,
Then that is that's really cool. I love art. That's one of our favorite things at Faycore. We have artists, we have poets, we have authors. So yeah, I love
cool.
seeing all the different new things. Um, where do you like to write most?
At my computer,
At your
just at my
computer?
desktop computer. I also have a laptop, but I don't. I like so far more than laptop prefer setting up my computer. I guess just because I'm used to my keyboard and used to everything.
Mhm.
So it's in my office. I sit there and type, and then my neck and back hurt, and I realize that's because I've been slumped over.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows that.
Oh yeah, we all know that feeling.
And I know a lot of people that like will go and take their laptop to the Barnes and Noble cafe and things like that, and it just doesn't work for me. I wish it did. I just I don't know. I guess we're all different.
Oh yeah, I personally I like going over to my mother-in-law's couch, drinking coffee with her, watching horror or murder documentaries, and drinking coffee or whatever tea we have, and writing.
That's fun.
So it's it just whatever makes you comfortable.
I just I taught myself to type a million years ago, and
Oh,
I I need my keyboard. Like if I try to type on another keyboard or my laptop, it just doesn't work nearly as well.
it doesn't feel right.
I type like a good 60 words a minute on, or yeah, on my keyboard, but put me somewhere else, no.
It feels wrong.
Yeah, it does. It feels wrong. And I'd rather feel right.
Yeah, when you're writing, it helps to have the right uh keyboard, the right pen or the right pencil, and sometimes a change of ink that others won't use,
And
like red.
if I were to write with a pen, I could never read what the heck I'd written. I have really bad
Oh,
handwriting, so I also another reason I like my computer is I have my Alexa sitting there, and like I have playlists, and if I like for example when I was writing Leap Year, a lot of it is set in 1959, and it was helpful to listen to songs from that period. So I tend to do things like that.
oh yeah, I look up like how things how differently the cars would look or how
Yeah.
differently the furniture would look in that time period. That's always helpful. I love that idea.
And of course my cats are I have 6 cats.
Oh,
And the downside to that is they will not stop pestering me when I'm setting up my computer.
understandable.
Yeah. I know 6 cats is weird to have that many.
No, it's actually not that weird. I've lost my last 3 cats. I
Oh,
just
I'm
have my
sorry.
dog. So I wasn't judging about the amount of cats.
Well, I judge
I was
myself.
just thinking about how much headbutting you'd probably get. Pet me now.
Oh, yeah, and I have the biggest cat. His name is Archer, and he weighs about 70,000 pounds, or at least it feels that way when he's on my chest. But he likes to jump up onto my desk and circle around my monitor and then like stick his little sharp claws at my mouse. And that's not fun.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I
Um,
do everything I can to block off any access he has to that.
I do too, but I think the last time the cat got behind the monitor, I was really grateful because we had a slithery friend back there we didn't know about. And it's like, oh no. And he just grabs it by the neck and walks away and asks to be let outside. And I'm like, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that's a hero right there.
Oh yeah, I was dude, I was crying. I was grateful. I'm like, you're a good kitty. You're getting more treats tonight.
That's entirely the reason he did it.
Oh yeah. More treats and not bite mommy because mommy does
Yeah,
not want to be bit by a snake again.
no, I wouldn't either. I got bitten by a brown recluse once, and that wasn't fun. So I can't imagine a snake would be good.
Dude, I had a spider bite me inside my nose.
Uh,
So I don't recommend being bit by spiders, snakes, dogs, cats, whatever.
I guess I need to write a story about spiders now that I said that. That's one of the things that scares me the most.
Oh, it scares me a lot. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it again. I can't write stories about spiders. My hair gives me spider nightmares. I wake up and I find out my hair is on my forehead. I'm like,
Yeah, and you think, what is that?
yeah, that's why it's always short whenever you see me because I just can't.
Well, I mean, I don't have that problem, clearly.
Oh, yeah, you're just stylish without hair, so it works out
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, well, I started losing my hair at 25, so
Ah,
I'm okay with that.
that's understandable. Some people lose their hair early, other people are halfway gray in seventh grade.
That is true. So,
So, but dude, um, what do you have writer snacks that you like to have?
uh, sometimes I like these lifesaver wintergreen mints and orange mints, and I have like a little bowl by my desk, and yeah, and I always have some water there because I tend to not drink as much water as I should, so I'm always making sure I have water so I drink it.
Oh yeah, I I totally agree. Hence this
Yep.
thing.
Well, I have my water right here.
It's just they had that strawberry watermelon packets at Walmart, so I got some. So I had tea and then that. So
Cool.
yeah, I definitely recommend those things. The strawberry watermelon's really good.
Sounds
Um,
interesting.
can zombies climb?
Can zombies climb? I think
Yes,
they can.
you think they can? In your canon universe, if there were zombies, would they be able to?
Huh. I haven't written that much about zombies. I did in Memories of a Ghost. There were zombies. And yeah, I think they could. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, but what about your canon universe? Because everybody usually goes back to their favorite show, and I'm like, but yours is more fun in this particular conversation.
It is.
It's the whole point of the show.
And I think, I mean, why wouldn't they be able to? I don't, I also think they wouldn't not move as slow as they often do. You know,
Yeah.
like some of them walk around like a slow Frankenstein kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I've never met a zombie, so I don't know for sure. But
Which story do you wish, or novel do you wish people would read more?
all my stuff. But
All your stuff?
of
Well, duh.
course,
Yes,
I,
everybody. Go search out joederown.com
yes,
and go to the book section. It's up below or wherever in the
yeah,
words of Nick. Links are where links go.
links, yeah. Probably
Mhm.
if I had to pick one book to get more coverage, I wish Memories of a Ghost would. And it's been fairly popular, but I would like I would like more eyes on it.
Okay. I'm going
And
to add to my pocket.
probably my most successful book has been Small Things, the original one, which is the start of my trilogy. But I'd also like people to finish reading the Small Things trilogy. I took too long to put out the third book, I feel.
Mhm.
So it maybe has not been read as much as the first two, and um, yeah, I think
Somebody,
it was some of my best work.
some people just don't know it's out there yet.
I
Whereas
think
I'm
that's the
like,
case. There's so much stuff out there,
it's,
and if you want to be seen, you have to pay for advertising and things like that, and
it's
that
hard.
gets old.
Yeah, that gets old. And you just get to the point where I can either pay for the advertising or I can pay for something else useful.
Yeah, like
Because
food.
sometimes it feels like nobody's watching our advertising either.
That's what it feels like to me, and it's not always the case, but yeah. I mean, I think you have to be really, really lucky to get seen in something like that.
Well, yeah. And I am a hopper of publishing companies. I don't hop from publishing company to publishing company to like publish my things. No, I'm like with like Water Tower Hill. They had ghost stories with Fractured Mind Publishing. Well, my favorite Redditor writes for them, but also
Cool.
he writes for Fake Horror as well. Then there's like Fake Horror. I just followed KT Seto from multiple different publishing companies to this one, and then somehow I just am mainly writing for them. So it's one of those. If it wasn't for Heather and Josh, I wouldn't know you exist. But
I know.
also, you wrote about ghosts, so therefore, I need to find out more.
I'm glad that I was in the Hospital of Haunts.
Yeah, you were in House of Haunts,
Yes.
Hospital of Haunts.
Yep.
I expected there to be a ghost there, but I don't think I expected her to be there, so that was awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I
like
really enjoyed
reading
writing
about
this
that.
book, and I enjoy working with Heather and Josh. They're great. And I
And
intend to be in some of their anthologies in the future.
in your words, the Grackle did its job.
Yes. I enjoyed that and the whole Grackle thing. It was fun. It was throughout the book. There were other people that had them in there too, and it was fun. A fun way to tie everything together.
Oh yeah, there's definitely if you guys are wondering, House of Haunts and Hospital of Haunts, you got the haunted house and you got the hospital, and all 23 authors came to write stories about ghosts and what they did to get there or what they're doing now that people have come into the house or the hospital, and it's just amazing what each author has come up with. And I want you to read Joe DeRouen, but I also want you to read all the other authors because there's enough room for
read
all
me
the authors.
first.
Well, that's what I did. I read yours first in House of Haunts, and then
Thank you.
everybody else's. Why? Because I'm like, oh, I can get this book. I have the money. Ooh, he's in it. Yay!
No, I really enjoy being part of those, and like I said, she has more planned for the future.
Oh yeah, she's already shown the cover for the next one,
which I will not be in because they have a rule you can't be in more than 2 in a row.
I
Which
wonder
is,
why.
I guess, just to get some like different people involved, maybe.
Oh,
And I'm okay with that.
yeah.
I plan on being involved in some of the other ones in the future.
Okay, definitely need to get your next story collection.
Well, thank you.
Dude, has your writing research ever physically taken you any place weird or fun or scary?
Well, I've been to a few cemeteries, which is
Oh, me
always,
too.
depending on what time of day you go, it can be kind of scary. And it's always kind of fun. When I went to visit my hometown of Carthage, Illinois, it's less than 3,000 people. It's a tiny place I grew up. I had set some pivotal scenes from Small Things, as well as the sequel threads. And it actually, Memories of a Ghost actually was there too. The little cemetery in Carthage, and I went there because it had been so long since I'd seen it. And it was fun to just go around and look and see and like decide where things would happen and where things would be. And I took some pictures of books while I was there, and that was fun. I set them up on the tombstones.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I really, really enjoy setting stories in places I know. So another cemetery that in Memories of a Ghost, one of the final scenes that takes place there is a cemetery. Can't remember what it's what the name of it is in the book, but it's a real cemetery that exists locally.
Oh,
And it was fun to do that. I can see in my mind better what's going on and everything if it's set in a real place.
that makes sense. Yeah, I can honestly say the places in my books, the names have been changed of where they are, but they are definitely set in real places. You can find, with the directions I've given, you can definitely go into the real places and
Yeah.
find all of what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I love doing that too.
I will change some of the names, but some of them I keep the same unless there's something bad going on there, you know?
Yeah, I changed I changed the name of the names of the people there
Yeah,
because
of
people
course.
don't need to go to Hot Water Road and mess with the current inhabitants of my old house or go to that blue house on the hill and mess with those people and find out whether or not there was an actual ghost there.
Yeah,
You
that would be
know,
awkward.
that's their business. Whether or
That is
not they
true.
have
That's a very good reason to change the names.
Oh yeah, but the names are the same of the roads and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, same here.
dude, yeah, I love that's my sister started the Corpse Garden Chronicles, and then she gave it to me because work got harder, and then I'm like, it's about corpse gardens. Why don't I just go to corpse gardens and show some of our local ones off? And then since death is always like made me curious
Yeah.
about what. So I love ghosts. I love finding out actually what happens at funeral homes, what happens at nursing. Well, I learned that by working there,
Oh, yeah.
hospitals, and so on, and how people would go from there to the great beyond. So that is always one of my favorite things to do.
No, it makes perfect sense.
What?
Oh, I did want to mention one thing, if you don't mind, about
Oh, go right ahead.
places. On my website, joederowan.com, I have like 2 guidebooks through Carthage and stuff, like for small things. And then I have one for Memories of a Ghost where you can actually
Oh,
go and read and see pictures of the real places and stuff. And it was fun to put together.
that is one of the coolest things ever.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
I'll send you the link
definitely.
later and you can see it.
Oh yeah, and definitely have to put it in the reader group and go
Cool.
from there.
It was fun. So
I thank you. Thank you for making that. Thank you for having the cool authory stuff.
you're welcome.
Um, what? Um, dude, now I've got thrown off again.
Sorry.
Um, it's fine. I'm grateful to know about that. I've got to check it out. It's going to be one of the things I do whenever I get as I do the read through, go through and back and forth now that I know it
Yeah.
exists. What is one of your favorite things to do when you meet fans in person?
When I do, I'm sorry. I
Do
didn't
you have
understand.
anything fun you do when you meet fans in person? Because
Oh,
I've seen some people like ask them back random questions back and forth about themselves or tell them fun things about the stories they're asking about while they're signing.
yeah. I tend to be pretty shy in person, which is not the best
Oh
thing
yeah,
for an author. But yeah,
understandable.
I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy signing things for them, and I'll usually, sign like a weird little joke in it. I'll put like "so long and thanks for all the fish," which is Douglas
I
Adams.
love Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Oh
Galaxy.
yeah,
I
me
love that
too.
whole entire trilogy.
And I actually met him once in Texas. That was really cool. I'll always remember that. And I
That
still
is
have his
awesome.
signed books that I got from him. But
Yeah, I'm
it is.
jealous. I have the Barnes and Noble copy that looks like the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think I have one of those too. I loved his stuff. So earlier when you talked about favorite authors, I kind of forgot about that. He would definitely be one.
Definitely one of mine too. I love the radio versions of his books.
Yeah,
I love I think I like the British version of the first two books more than I like the new one that they made in the 2000s of Hitchhiker's Guide.
I agree. I agree. But as far as things I do with fans, I'm talking. If they want to ask me questions, they can ask me whatever they want, and sometimes people taking pictures with me, and that's always fun.
Oh
Just
yeah.
signing stuff, and I usually have like bookmarks and different things to give away.
Ooh, that rocks.
Yeah, it's fun.
Um, hmm. What is your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook. That's a good question.
It could be bake as well. It's a broad word.
Probably omelets. That's the one thing I'm really good at is cooking different kind of omelets and stuff.
Ooh,
Um, Beyond that, I can cook other stuff, and I do, but I'll have to like follow in directions, and that can get kind of tiresome and daunting. So
I
yeah,
do too.
omelets. My wife likes my omelets, so that makes me happy too.
I can
Uh, uh,
understand that. My husband makes great omelets.
Maybe that's a guy thing. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's definitely an awesome thing that you both are great at omelets. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Well, for one thing, I eat paleo, which is like you don't eat grains and stuff. So that said, there's a lot of things you can pretty much make anything, like with
Hmm.
um, tapioca grain or whatever it's called. So like cheesecake and different things like that. Probably some of my
Okay.
favorites. I also love coconut ice cream. Really
Ooh,
good.
coconut ice cream is awesome. Because yeah, with paleo, can't you have like yogurt and fruit as
Yeah,
well?
and you can actually eat dairy with paleo, but I'm not like lactose intolerant, but I have a slight allergy to dairy. So
Oh, okay. Well,
I try to stick to coconut type stuff. And there's this,
understandable. That's why I'm
yeah,
asking because I don't know if like yogurt is a possibility on paleo because I don't really know anything about it.
it probably would be fine on paleo.
If you weren't allergic.
Yeah, if I didn't have issues with milk. But there's this really nice Thai restaurant
Uh
locally
huh.
that we go to called Thai Kitchen,
Hmm.
and they have really good coconut ice cream, and I love that. My son and I will sometimes run over there and pick up food, and I always get a coconut ice cream to bring home.
I can't say anything against that. I love coconut coffee, so
Yeah, coconuts are
coconut
good.
coffee. Okay. Do you have a favorite poet?
Probably not. I mean,
Okay.
I like poems and stuff. I couldn't really name somebody,
Oh, okay.
so I guess me since I had some in my book. But I think there's probably a lot of people a little better than me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm one of those weird kids that loves writing poetry, and people that come to my mind are like Robert Frost, Patricia Harris, Andrew. Uh,
Oh, Robert Frost is really good. It's like when you say names, I know who they are.
yeah. So okay. Um, hmm, what is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show,
Yeah,
Twilight Zone, the original
Twilight
Twilight
Zone.
Zone. As far as stuff that's on currently, my wife and I lately have been watching School Spirits. We really enjoy that. Um, about ghosts.
Of course, ghosts are awesome.
Yeah,
That's
they are.
why
I watch a
follow
lot of fantasy,
ghost
science fiction
hunters.
stuff and horror stuff,
Okay.
but definitely Twilight Zone. I have all the Blu-rays and I've watched them all, but it's also fun like when Sci-Fi Network has a marathon because you don't know what's going to be coming on and
Oh
it's
yeah, that's
random,
always fun.
and that's fun. I enjoy that. So,
Oh
and
yeah, I there's a Twilight Zone channel
Yeah.
on like the Roku channel. So
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
just like, ooh, that's the thing I'm gonna do today. Or the Murder She Wrote version.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cool things on Roku.
Oh yeah, it's free. It rocks.
My as far as TV shows, my son and I decided to go through all the Bewitched from the '60s.
Ooh,
With
that was always good.
Yeah, and it was. We really enjoyed it up until the 8th season. It's really sucky at the 8th season, but we're almost finished with it.
Understandable.
Yeah, and then after we're done with that, we're gonna watch all the Star Treks. So it's fun.
Ooh, who's your captain?
Ah, probably Picard, but we're gonna start with the original. You
Oh,
know,
I don't blame you.
and then see where it goes from there.
Because I've watched them chronologically. I've
Yeah,
watched them in order of starting to air. Star Trek's just good to watch.
it is, and there's so much mythology there.
Oh yeah, there's so many things. I love Star Trek. Are you a Doctor Who fan?
Probably not as much as I'd like to be, or rather, I am a Who fan. I haven't seen as much as I would like. I
Okay,
I did watch a lot when well, several doctors ago. I don't remember his name right
okay.
now. Matt somebody.
Matt Smith.
Yes, yes, yes. I really enjoyed those, and I watched all those, and then I kind of got out of it. But I'll go back every once in
Okay,
a while. I do enjoy it.
I don't blame you. Okay.
There's only so
Uh,
much stuff out there to watch.
oh
There's
yeah,
so much time to watch all the stuff that's out there. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
that is the thing. There's only so much time to watch, so much time to read, and
Yep.
so much time to write.
And
And
I'm a pretty voracious reader. I probably
oh yeah,
read much more than I watch shows and stuff.
okay. Um, okay. Since we're nearing the end of the hour, where do you want people to find you?
Um, I'm right here in my house, in Arkansas. No, I'm kidding. Um,
That's okay. I'm in this closet in Texas.
yeah, and I used to live in Texas, as we talked about earlier. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, search for me on Amazon. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm even on
You can
TikTok, but I haven't posted anything there for quite a while. But
you can
and you can
Google
find
them.
all those things if you go to my website, which is Joe DeRouen, and my last name is spelled right there. You got to write it down because you won't remember because it's a weird French last name. DeRouen. So
Figuring it
joederowan.com. Hmm?
I agree.
It is a weird name. And it's weird because if you're in France, it would be like DeRouen. If you're in Louisiana, it's DeRouen.
Mm.
And it's like so many different pronunciations. And I grew up hearing all of them.
It's like on
And
Facebook, you're at Jade Rowan Writer and having to figure that out to tag you so people can click the blue thing and find you. That was kind of
yeah.
figuring that out was kind of hard.
So, but I like my last name. I like the capital R. Like if
Oh yeah.
well, you know, I like the capital R.
Oh yeah, I know you like the capital R. That's why I didn't argue and I'm like, okay, Instagram's being a jerk, but I fix everything else.
Oh, that's actually pretty funny. Instagram is a jerk sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, people can find me. Just go to my website, and then from there you can go to Amazon. There's a little online store. You can buy my books directly from me and get signed books.
Yeah.
You can find my stuff. Some of it like on Walmart and different places.
I haven't tried Walmart before, but yeah, that sounds like a good thing.
I mean, I
Okay.
didn't know they were there until somebody said, "Hey, your books are on Walmart." It's like, well, that's kind of cool.
I haven't even tried to find if I can find my stuff at Walmart.
You need
Okay.
to check. You might be
Yeah.
surprised.
I'll have to do that next. Okay. Before I tell you where to find me, please go check out my buddy Stephen Lear, Fracture Mind Publishing. He has so many amazing things. You must go see him. And you can find me here at Owlite. You can find me at Faycore. You can find me at Friday with the Library in the Blue Box. Corkscrewing Chronicles, and of course, if you really want to read my stuff, Jennifer Elliott. And please,
and I'm going to do that.
Check out all of our books. Please read our ghosts. Please read all the other things we have written. And thank you guys for being here. Yes, Leap Year, Odds and Ends, all the books.
All the stuff. Read everybody's stuff. Read her stuff. Read my stuff. Read it all.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Reductibus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.